Hello guys, Tony's Art Productions here, and I just want to do a little tutorial video of weathering your my cat's going to join us here, of weathering your airsoft weapons, whether it be metal or plastic. You can do it a couple different ways. So I want to put something on the screen right now that shows you what you're going to need. You're going to need a screwdriver, you're going to need some sort of sandpaper, you're going to need a walnut stain pen. It doesn't necessarily have to be walnut, but you want a darker stain pen, and some sort of rag. You can use ones that you can polish shoes with, or just some sort of washcloth is fine. Also, if you're going to do it a different method, you're going to want some silver spray paint. And some sort of foam sponge or brush, like these. I'll show you how to use that in a little bit. I'm going to put that to the side. Okay, so I have my one of the airsoft Thompson machine guns. This one is made of wood and metal. So the magazine is metal too. There's not many plastic bits, which is nice. So what you're going to want to do is, if you have a metal gun, you can follow along with me if you like, or just take note. So you're going to want to sand all of these lettered parts off. And depending on where you live, do this with caution in case you get stopped by the authorities. I don't usually have to deal with that, so you're going to start by sanding. We're just going to get all these letters off. And when you're doing this, it's probably going to cause some black dust and paint residue to get everywhere. So just take your rag and wipe that clean. So now you got something like that. Whereas it looked like that, now it looks like that. So I'm just going to do that to the rest of them. Anything that might be showing. And I could probably do some shoutouts in the meantime. I know I put a post out there that asked for shoutouts, and some of you responded. Trench Builder 22, World War II IEB Productions, BFT Productions. I'll do a few more later. We'll just do those ones for now. So if you guys have any questions for me or comments, feel free to put them below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I try to look at those pretty regularly. Okay, so we got all our lettering off our machine gun, as seen. So now, I already accidentally did it, but if you can see, it's starting to wear off the metal here, or the paint off the metal, so that's what we want. And depending on how beat up your gun you want it to look, you can do different variations. So the other one isn't as beat up, my other Thompson, so I'm going to try to make this one look like it's a little more used and abused. So let's do that. You really want to work with the gun, and as you're doing this, you want to do all the parts that are going to have some wear and tear. So around the action, around the trigger, around your bolt, around your sights, basically anything that's an edge that you can take off is what you want to take off. And I'll get some close-ups for you guys too, so you can see what it looks like up close. It's pretty amazing the difference that it makes from looking like a pretty sweet gun to could be a real gun. which also could get you in trouble. So if you're under 18, I would ask your parents before doing it. And if you're over 18, I would look at your local ordinances and laws, so you don't have a neighbor calling you in and then the local authorities showing up on your doorstep saying, "Hey, what you doing?" That is something you want to try to avoid. Alright, I'll do a few more shoutouts here. The 29th ID, 116th IR. He does a lot of reenacting stuff. Captain Jaden, Kids for Fun Jr., and I Changed My Name Productions. Again, if you guys want me to shout you out, comment below, and I'll hit you up with another video. Alright, after weathering our metal, this is what we came out with. Okay, now that we have successfully weathered our metal, I'll show you how to do a plastic quick. I can do it in here, but usually I spray some silver spray paint onto a paper plate. I go in, I dab, then I wipe off the excess, and I'll go in. This is sort of an example of what I'm talking about. You can see it, very hard to see, but it artificially weathers without actually scraping any metal or paint away, which you can't do on a plastic gun. Alright, next step, you're going to move on to staining, and this one might be out, so I'm about to find out. Basically, you're just going to go and darken your wood. After it dries, you can make another pass. But a lot of these, especially the Denique's weapons, have a really gross red finish on them, so this will help darken it and make it look more convincing to the stains that were actually used. Move over to our stock. And this is kind of time consuming, but it ultimately makes the weapon look a lot more realistic. This isn't going to work on plastics, so if you got a carbine, an M1 carbine, or anything else that has some plastic fox, whatever you say, fake wood on there, it's not going to work. This is only going to work on real wood. It's up to you if you want to sand it down before you restain it, but I haven't noticed any problems. But just make sure you let it dry before you try to put a new coat on. Alright, I'm going to put one coat on here, and I'm going to show you guys what it comes out to. Well, here's with one pass of the stain pen. It's definitely a noticeable difference. Well, that's going to do it for this tutorial, guys. So, as you can see, the airsoft weapon looks a lot more realistic than it did before. So if you guys have any comments or questions about any of our shows, the channel in general, or for me, comment below and I will get back to you. Until then, stay tuned.